All right, let's go. Hey, Mountain Echo. Hello, how you doing? It's your boy Frankie, and that's your boy Jonah Gallegos right there at NM Prepco Sports. Make sure you're following him. He's been doing a killer job with articles, columns, opinion pieces, and I was actually able to check out the wrestling mat duels that happened in Anthony, and I wrote a little bit as well. So thanks, Jonah, for letting me do that.
You did pretty good, my friend. You did pretty good.
I was grateful to Emilio who helped me out and got everything organized or helped me organize everything, know how the points were. So we'll get into a little bit of wrestling, but this is a big week. We got a big week for uh, high school basketball. We have district getting started this week. One more game, I believe Centennial has to make up a game against Silver City. So that one is going to be tomorrow, Monday, as we record this, as always, on Sunday. But Jonah, we have a very, very big announcement. We got it looks a little bit different today, or it's going to look a little bit different. You excited? You ready to rock and roll?
Let's go. Who's here today?
There's somebody here
Us then.
waiting on us to introduce him. I know you guys know him. He's been on the show from the time that we started, and we're really excited to get him back into the swing of things from our new look of what a Mountain Echo is. Uh, Everybody, let's go!
That scared me.
Boys, let me say it's a pleasure. It's good to be back. And I come bearing good news.
Uh
Let
oh.
me tell you, let me hear
Uh
me
oh.
out here real quick,
He's
okay?
not even in here for 2 seconds. Let's get
Hey,
it.
yes,
What
sir.
you got?
I
What you
got
got?
breaking news.
Oh,
NMSU, and this is breaking news. We're the first ones to say this, all right? NMSU will be making a conference championship. Just letting you guys know here today. That's breaking news. Today on A Mountain Echo. Here we go.
Oh
Let's get it,
Lord.
boys.
conference championship in what sport?
Basketball, baby.
Oh, okay.
We're still in
Okay.
it. We are still in it. I'm still very impressed with the coach. I'm still very impressed with what Hooten's doing. The lineup is solid. Yes, we have some struggling offensive sides right now currently, but we're going to get into the swing of things because officially we have touched everybody. We've played everybody in the conference officially now. So I feel like we're going to get in the swing of things. We're coming back when we're coming back strong, and we're going to finish strong too as well. But other than that, boys, it's good to be back. I'm glad to see you
Shoot.
guys. It looks
Come in.
amazing. I love this.
You come in gunslinging with the crazy prediction there. We beat
Spoken like a
Delaware, and all
true
of a
season
sudden
ticket holder.
we beat Delaware, and we just think we belong, huh? I mean, I
Let
hope
me
from your mouth to God's ears.
let me tell you that win was dominant. I was very impressed, and I'm very excited for the remainder of the season, boys.
Amen. Well, uh, we'll see. I'm excited to see it. I hope you're right. But everyone that's following, everyone that's watching us, appreciate the support. Make sure that you guys are checking out uh, the surf and turf golf swag that we got available as we continue to grow the partnership. There's some golf that's getting started, so make sure you're checking out uh, the website, and we're going to be getting some pretty cool swag coming in soon. So, other than that, let's get right into it. We have some uh, really, really interesting topics today, and I think the best way to get started, Isaiah, you hit it right on the head. Uh, we have NMSU men's basketball. They split the road trip that they had. Coach Hooten was talking about that this is one of the roughest road trips in the conference on our schedule, and it was done before school started, which is huge news. So, Isaiah, you're calling it now. I just misspelled Delaware. I'm looking at Delaware and I'm removing this now. Uh, we
It's
have
a hard word.
Delaware.
It's okay.
I forgot an E. Let's
It's
get
okay.
into it, Jonah. Uh, give us some stats, and then we're gonna have Isaiah ask some questions, and I know he's got some details on the game as well.
Yeah, from Liberty, or are we talking about Liberty or Delaware right here?
Let's do both. Let's get started with Liberty actually on the game on Thursday.
Yeah, it just sucks because this team. I'm not gonna say inconsistent anymore. I'm just gonna say they struggled to get on the get go, and then played really well in the second half. They had it in them. The defense was in it. Our shots were finally being knocked down by Versesh, I believe his name is,
Hmm.
who's Isaiah's favorite player, I've heard,
Yes,
on the
he
team
is.
right now. There we go. But yeah, we had other people. We had Chris Terrell, I believe, hop back in the lineup, who didn't play most of the, um, I guess, homestand here the other couple of weeks. But I guess he proved himself to who, and he stepped in, and then Pickens kind of stepped down. So, like I said, like Isaiah said, just the rotation. I think he finally found his right fit, and Isaiah can kind of explain more on that rotation. But I think it for a while it kind of messed up the chemistry. But I think they might have found something here.
Yeah, honestly, man, Conference USA, just watching these teams, getting to go to all of the home games recently, I'm noticing that Conference USA is the most diverse conference in terms of size. We will go from one game to 7 footers, 6'11, 6'10, and then we will go from another game and we're dealing with people who are 5'10, 5'11, which is surprising to me that these D1 athletes are coming in all shapes and sizes these days. But let me tell you, the fact that we were able to put up a fight and we only lost by what, 2 points to the number one team in Conference USA, who is still dominating and they're still 6-0, gives me hope. And that tells me that, I mean, like you said, Jonah, our offensive scheme, it's coming together. We're starting to figure it out. We're starting to figure out who our identity is and what our rotation is. I'm excited.
That's actually a really interesting take. I hadn't really thought about the size and how different every game feels. And I guess that kind of speaks to how Coach Hooten is changing the lineup to kind of imitate that. So you're one trying to figure out a rhythm and a formula of how your starting lineup is going to perform best, but also you got to figure out matchups as well. So I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, no, the fact that he's been, I mean, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the starting five. I mean, we're changing it every single game and it feels like inconsistency to some of the fans. I mean, I hear them in the stands asking, "Hey, why isn't Jones starting? Who the hell is this? Who's coming off the bench? Why are we starting him?" type of mentality. But it's like, okay, coach has to match up correctly with their starters, and it's like I said, it's a very diverse conference.
Yeah, I actually didn't. Yeah, you're right there. And I put in one of my columns too that our bench, which isn't like a traditional bench right now because we have so many people rotating in, is like top 30 in the country. We're averaging like almost 40 points a game from the bench. But I guess that's a good thing to have when you can rotate people in here and there. But yeah, I think the game against Liberty, Malanga, a lot of our big men, maybe just Mullen and Mims, were the only big men that played. I think we have Malanga and uh, another guy named Sir or Kerr. I forget how it's like CYR it's spelled, but and then they jumped into the game on Delaware, which a lot of people played with that big lead we had.
Yeah, and then I mean, that lead in Delaware, ending a really nice road trip. That dominant performance is fantastic because now we got 3 straight games at home, which I think
Wow.
is going to be awesome and fantastic. And the fact that we need to now bring that hype back to our basketball team. I loved our last home game. I mean, again, Frankie, we've been preaching this since the early A Mountain Echo days. Man, pack the Pan Am. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Coach Hooten brings the energy. We have a good team this year. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that last home game was a little bit weird. I think I saw on X that everyone was giving Coach Hooten a hard time with his excuses, quote unquote excuses. Um, when he was talking about the foundation was being announced, he's wearing a red coat. He never wears a coat to coach. And there's just so many things happening during that time. School hasn't gotten started yet. Kids were on break from, the New Year's, things like that. And so there was a lot of distractions. But one thing that I think is a bright spot going home now, but we were able to beat Delaware on a road win. And every single time Adam Young keeps mentioning it, everybody that is on the commentary is saying it's so hard to win a road game in Conference USA because of how much traveling that causes, or how much you have to, you know, what is it? Legs don't travel well, and when you have injuries and things like that, it doesn't travel well. The hardest part is already done, right? So now we're coming home, and you're absolutely right. 3 home games, and it's going to be exciting, man. I think this is where we can start to pull away and start climbing the ladder in the standings for Conference USA.
It was kind of awkward seeing Coach in a suit jacket. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
Mhm.
the I love the symbolism, but Coach felt very uncomfortable, and you could tell.
Oh, he wore that. He must have lost at least. We were talking about this last time. 20 pounds from all the
Oh
sweat
yeah,
that he probably was drenched with. But yeah,
100%. I thought he was gonna throw it off in the middle of the game. To be honest.
he should have, dude. Yeah, he probably got he got dehydrated. But they only had like 2,000 fans in the past couple of games, which obviously is because Christmas break. But it felt really loud in there on the Middle Tennessee game.
Mhm.
So I think the energy is being brought, and hopefully with the students coming back, it just I guess heightens up. So it's exciting that school's about to start back up, and we got the Panamaniacs back in the building.
Is that a thing still? I don't know if we're still the
I mean,
Panamaniacs.
it's on the wall in the gym or in the stadium. I
That's
think
true.
right above.
Well, let's move on here. Any last points? Is the Aggies are well, they're playing as we're talking about the future games, right? So this Thursday, we're going to be hosting Missouri State at 7 o'clock, and then we're going to host FIU on Saturday at noon. So those are the two games that are coming up for the men. Uh, I don't know how strong Missouri State is. I know we almost beat them in football, and then that would have let us be in a bowl game. But that game is going to happen on Thursday. Any predictions for that game?
Go ahead, Isaiah.
Honestly, we're at home. Students are back. Crowd is back. I feel like it's going to be a dominant win for us. We're going to have a lot of energy rocking in that Pan Am. And then also coming off of a road win is going to be a huge thing for us.
Mm.
The talk in that locker room has to be dominance from here on out on the conference run before we hit the conference tournament, just so we can get a good seeding. I mean, these guys. Who do we got next? It's Missouri State.
Missouri State.
They're
Missouri
ahead of
State.
they're ahead of us just a tad bit in the conference standings. I mean, and I think we can turn it around. I mean, the big thing is we're at home, so we got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, 7-1 at home. Uh, and Missouri State's 4-3 in conference play. Everyone is like around the 10-11 win mark in conference play overall. But again, Liberty is up there. But I mean, Liberty didn't seem. It seems like those we talked about it the other day. But like those guys, the two guards, and then that Cleveland guy, it seems like they've been there for ever since Hooten started his tenure with us. But I mean, good for them. They're like the top 15 in the top 15 for teams like retaining their roster. So I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they're paying them good. I don't know.
I thought it was actually really interesting how they're trying to, or how they measure that is they start talking about points uh, coming back or minutes coming back. So they
Mm,
said like I think Liberty was at like 50 or more. It was like
yeah,
54% of their minutes returned last year, where ours was probably like at 5, right? Because
yeah.
Jacoby
We had
Osborne
two
didn't really
guys.
play much until the very end, and
Yeah.
then um, most of our guys just didn't play. So with that being said, that's a big thing. But I will say I keep saying it over and over again. Um, I like when we start playing bully ball. We're running downhill and we're just having fun. That's when we are our best. And it felt like late we were bullying Liberty. We were being faster than them. We were diving for the balls. We were making that extra pass, and it felt like really fun basketball. And if we can just keep doing that, man, it feels like once we slow down, we can't get an offense going. It, it's frustrating to see. I don't know what the behind the scenes looks like on that, but every time we slow the pace down, we can't get a shot, bro, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, and honestly, with this game, I'm reviewing everything. I see Missouri State. Their number one player is Palak the third. Actually, it looks like number 11. That's just, I mean, 6'9", 220 pounds. That dude's dominant. He's leading the team in all three categories of points, rebounds, and assists. So, I mean, it seems like if we put the lockdown on that guy, we got a really good chance of forcing the other players on that team to play against us, and I think we'll have a dominant win. But again, you're absolutely right. if we're slowing it down too much on offense, running too many sets. I feel like the Aggies are best when we're in transition, whenever we're running up and down the court and we're getting to the basket as quickly as possible. I feel like that's the best, but that's not Coach Hooten's coaching style. Coach Hooten wants to run sets consistently and slow down the offense and take control of it. But I feel, our players are, wanting to be let free. And I think Coach Hooten's got to let that happen this game and see if our players can create something offensively.
You know what that reminds me of? There's a scene in the movie Glory Road with UTEP when I forget his name, this like star player. He's like asking the coach to let him play their ball. And that's what I feel like they need to talk with Hooten and like just kind of like coach, like, yes, you're a great offensive mind, but just let us go. Even with like the transition threes that like Versesh makes or Randall, and when they're like out of plays, and even if they get a wide open shot, they miss them. I don't know if they get in their head or what. I don't know how that works for a basketball player. Isaiah can maybe attest more to that, but it just seems when they're flowing in the moment, catching in stride, they're shooting better.
Yeah, and one thing we got to take advantage of that we didn't have last year. I mean, you're absolutely right. They're popping up threes, but we can because we have big men that are willing to rebound this year. Their rebounding efforts this year are fantastic. I mean, hell, you have Mims averaging 7 rebounds a game. There was one game we were watching at the Pan Am Center, and I believe he had 13 rebounds and 5 points. That's what you want your big men to
Oh,
do,
true.
and we need to take advantage of the fact that we have those big men rebounding and they can clean up the trash. If we have Versace jacking up some threes, I mean, obviously we got Mims down there picking up the trash, getting it back out, and now we can run a set. But the transition offense is a big thing for us, and I think we actually are scoring in a positive aspect if we're scoring in the transition offense.
On top of all this, it's going to be on national television on Thursday, right? So, this is the third national televised game that we're playing almost in the month. It's at least right because we had ESPNU, then we had the CBS game last Thursday, and then now this Thursday we're going to be playing on CBS as well. So we're on TV and people are seeing us. So we need to be able to pull out some wins here because we lost to Liberty, so we need that Missouri one. So um, yeah, sweet. NMSU talk, men's at least. Let's actually move in here to the women's and cover the women's. Talk a little bit. They've split the series as well. Same thing as NMSU for the men's basketball. We've split one win, one loss each week. Thursdays is usually when we're seeing that. So, kind of getting into a rhythm here where Thursday we'll have a game, and then Saturday during the day we will. So now everybody's getting into conference play. You know how we're going to talk here in a little bit about high school. The ladies were able to beat Missouri State on Thursday, or oh yeah, on Thursday, um, 63 to 56, and then they lost to FIU 74 to 83. Those were at home. So now the girls are going to be heading on a road trip while the men are in town this week. What have y'all seen, Isaiah? Don't want to put you on the spot here. It's okay. It's challenging to keep up with the women as well. They're not doing the best, but I've been hearing some news about the coach doing some good things. She's a legend's been around forever. So maybe we can get started with Jonah, who's just the ultimate nerd on everything. What you got on women's NMSU basketball?
No, I just saw she's kind of similar to who and with her press conferences. Um, After her loss against FIU, she just said the team, um, in so many words, wasn't playing as putting much effort as she wanted them to play, and it seems like they responded on the next game against Missouri State, who was undefeated in conference play. And that conference, and just like the men's, they're just as competitive. There's, let's see, one, two, three, four, five teams or four teams that have one loss in conference play. And Missouri State was undefeated when we played them, so grabbing that win should do, work wonders for their confidence. They're only they're 3-3 in the middle of the pack for uh for conference play, so it's all up to them at this point. I think she grabbed Coach Jody Adams, grabbed her 250th win that game, and so they had a nice little celebration. They put a little video out of her celebrating with the team. So I think they're in good hands right now.
Yeah, and I mean, first and foremost, we got to get out and support our Lady Aggies. To be honest, I've heard the attendance is not as high as it should be, and I feel the confidence of having your fans in the stands is going to be a play a big part on how they perform. And we also got to take in consideration too, as well, that we have a young team. I mean, what do we have? 3 or 4 seniors on the team. But again, we have our seniors actually. Oh, let me see, 959. Thank you, Frankie. See, that attendance is
Sheesh.
horrendous. Yes, that attendance is horrendous. I think our local high schools are getting a little bit more attendance at football games these days. So, I mean, the attendance is going to play a big part in the confidence of our team, and especially if we're at home, we have to pack that Pan Am Center for our girls. And again, I mean, I don't know how to pronounce her name. Jonah, help me out here. Yenis. Uh,
Yeah, I think she's like their star player,
Lucia,
right?
yeah,
Yanis.
she's one of our top performing seniors on the team, and I mean, hell, she's leading in points per game, field goal percentage. She's leading in a lot too, as well defensively. Blocks per game too. It looks like. So I mean, it's really about molding this team, and I feel like I don't want to call it um a year where we're trying to figure ourselves out, but I mean, ultimately, we have a young team and a lot of positivity shifting this way. But as long as the transfer portal, I mean, mends our way and we don't lose a lot of players, I feel like this female team can mold into a really really good team next year.
Yeah, I haven't looked too much into how the roster changed for the women's, but you gotta they have to be struggling to replace Molly Kaiser, right? Just her 3-point shooting and just her presence.
Mhm.
She was one of the best women's basketball players in the country. So you can't just go into the transfer portal or into a high school and get a Molly Kaiser, right? You need one or two girls that are going to be able to replace her energy. So, yeah, a little bit of rebuilding, a little bit of getting better. I don't know how the conference is going to play out, but what I love about basketball is everybody's welcome to the tournament. So you can continue to get better, and whatever seed you're placed in to begin the tournament, you're able to win, right? And so any given as football, any given Sunday, any given day, you're able to um, figure out a win. It's basketball is so streaky.
Yeah, and knock somebody out any given day. Someone can get the work.
Hmm.
100%.
Yeah, uh, I think last year I don't know if they changed it, but um, this year I saw that they're taking only 10 teams to the conference tournament. So two of them get left out. The good thing is that neither of our men's or women's are in those positions, but I know in the WAC days like they let everyone in when there's starting to kind of go down. But maybe since we have 12 teams, they're kind of making them more competitive. But I thought last year we had all of our teams go as well. Usually that's how it goes, but maybe for the bigger P4 schools, conferences, it's different. So maybe we're trying to copy them.
Hmm.
And Frankie and Jonah, I don't know if we can spend, I mean, like just a couple minutes on the topic of the transfer portal. But I mean, Jonah and I were talking about this a couple days ago about the new fund that was announced, the last home game.
Yep.
How do you guys feel that actually competes with, the bigger schools having a different NIL package for our players, and actually being competitive in bringing good talent to our college? How do you guys think that impacts that?
Go ahead, Frankie.
I kind of talked about it last week a little bit. Um, right now, it doesn't change anything. And like I had said, is like we need to keep growing how we interact with our community and how the community responds to the funds, right? Um, just because you renamed it and you put Lou Henson's name in front of a foundation doesn't mean that you're going to get people to donate, right? So, um, I think you need to doing things like this. I think in the bigger vision, and Jonah will get stressed out because I'm like, bro, I got so many ideas. But I think being able to create a community like this where we people are coming to watch our show and getting information and getting some type of excitement. You can kind of build a higher attendance and get higher participation in pep rallies, in different things like that. And then you see businesses starting to fork out money because, oh, Pan Am is getting sold out. My advertising money is actually going to go to something, and then you have a specific program like this Lou Henson Foundation where you can do those types of things, right? So I think it starts with people and it ends with money, and so we don't have the people yet. We just saw NMSU, the women's not even having 1,000 people in attendance, right? Who in their right mind is going to give a substantial financial donation to programs when that's the attendance that and the eyes that you have on it, right? So um, that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, and I was talking to Jonah about this a couple days ago. You're exactly right, Frankie. They just slapped a new name on the same structure of a fund that we had already. And I was talking to Jonah. I mean, UTEP allows local businesses to come directly to the players to actually hand them NIL money. They participate in advertising with those local businesses. Why can't NMSU do such a thing? Why don't we see our local athletes from NMSU benefiting from sort of business outreach at all? And that, I think, if we allow that to happen, that will attract a lot more higher quality players. I would hate to say to our university, and in turn attract a higher attendance in our games, not just basketball, football, softball, but all sports around.
Tennis.
I think it needs, yeah, tennis. There you go, soccer. Uh, yeah, I mean that's the big thing, man. Is I think our new AD is starting off on the right foot. I mean, I love making it NMSU based by naming it Lou Henson, because Lou Henson was such an important historic figure in NMSU. But I think he now needs to sit back and think about the structure of getting our athletes paid, because I hate to say it, that's the world we live in. I mean, athletes are going to go where they get paid, right? I mean, we saw infamously we lost Diego Pavia, a Heisman finalist, to some really really big schools because NMSU couldn't fork up the money that he was requesting, and that's going to keep happening to us. And we need to make sure that we stay competitive. And all these smaller schools are starting to do so, but we need to start that trend and get out of that old school mindset.
I think.
Yeah. Oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry, Jonah.
Oh, you want me to go? I'll go. I'll
Yeah.
go. I'll go. I wrote a little column kind of from based off of my conversations with you last week, Frankie, in the podcast, and then with Isaiah this week. It's also like what do the people that are forking up this money get in I guess return? And obviously we want to support our local athletes, but it's also that's a lot of money they're asking for. And so I kind of did some research and really just NMSU is kind of asking for this money, but then they're getting back, parking spaces, access to the Fulton Center, access to the Hubbard room for basketball games, and then passes for there, and you get a little pin, which is cool. The pin's cool, but like for that much money, you go buy yourself another pin like that. So yeah, they really, it's cool they put the new name on it. But yeah, and it's also just kind of confusing. It's confusing. I think they need to do a better job with marketing this. They have the talent to do that. Um, it just seems, like I said last time, not so secretive, but like it just seems like they're not putting the info that we need to know out there. And that's coming from like a journalist perspective, kind of like I had to dig in and really go to the depths to find out what's going on here. And I even did extend thanks to Isaiah to email AD Fields, and I'll follow up this week to kind of asking questions like why don't we let our players um, do what Isaiah mentioned in doing local ads and whatnot, like UTEP does, and can they get both that money from a company and the NIL collective, which we just put out. So yeah, it's just confusing. I don't know, understand why they don't let them do that, or even if they are, why don't they take advantage of it?
Yeah. And my last take on it, man, is we need to create a structure. We need to get it going, and we need to get organized for our athletes before we have some of our bigger competition getting organized prior to us. UNM, UTEP, Liberty, those bigger schools, because if we don't do it now, it'll be very, very hard to catch up. That's all I
Yes,
gotta
it
say.
seemed like they did it pretty quick, huh? Like maybe we should have waited. I don't know, but yeah, I get what you're saying. That's a good point right there. I
Yeah,
feel like
and a
yeah,
good thing is too is our AD Fields just finalized his staff finally, his under ADs and everything like that. So
yeah,
hopefully we bring some fresh perspective to the table, and hopefully we see some more positive change in within our structure of our athletic department, and not prioritizing. I mean, you're absolutely right, Jonah. The local business that I own, when we actually were touring the facilities and what they would give us in terms of advertising if we were to donate to the athletic department, was very minimal. I mean, that's maybe we increase it, maybe we open it to local businesses, because if I also noticed too as well, we had a lot of the bigger companies that had money in terms of like Waterburger, Circle K. Those bigger companies are dumping a ton of money into NMSU, but NMSU is not allowing those smaller local companies to
Mm.
advertise and to participate, and they're not making it affordable for those local companies. And like I had spoke on this previously, if we were to make it affordable for those local companies to actually advertise with us, we would have a bigger pot for our athletes, and we would have more opportunities. And again, allowing the athletes to advertise with the companies directly is going to be a big thing. So hopefully we can jump on that bandwagon train.
I wonder if you are not allowed as as a business to reach out to the athlete, or it just hasn't happened, or we haven't asked enough, right? Um, because as Jonah had mentioned, there was a couple times where, like, shirts or something are being sold, and the student or the student athlete himself or herself is posting on social media, and they're getting benefit from it. So, at, I think there is a possibility for you to just reach out directly. Um, have Chris Terrell um, show a house for you, Isaiah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do something where,
Well, I
give him
mean,
part of your
I
commission
mean,
for doing it,
with
where he
what you're
walks
talking
through
about,
a house. I don't know.
with what you're talking about with sports accessories, and I think they were the official license t-shirt manufacturer for NMSU. I think
Mhm.
that's the only reason why they were able to do that. But like hell, you're absolutely right. An example: if I was a real estate agent and I wanted to reach out to Mims, and I wanted Mims to sit down and do a commercial and say that after he graduates, he's going to buy a house from Isaiah Tejas. I would love to pay money to that, and I would love to donate to the athletic department if that was to happen. But who knows, who knows what the process is. But I feel like it's the athletic directors and the athletic department's duty to actually make it available to the business owners. If this is something that can happen, if the business owners are able to reach out to the athletes directly, we should advertise that. Hey, if you're looking for an ad, if you're looking to support your local athletes at NMSU, they should plaster an ad on a billboard, allow these business owners to understand that they're able to do so, because again, that information is not privy to me or privy to any business owners that I know, so it's got to be
Mhm.
plastered somewhere.
Yeah, no,
it's
for sure.
yeah. Last word on it right here. I looked up that too. I think if like some places like UTEP, like when they're allowed to work with the local businesses, they just can't, like, since UTEP's or NMSU is like in a uh contract or whatever with Under Armour, like they can't wear their gear, they can't wear stuff that represents the university. But it seems like, I guess, the if NMSU is not allowing them to do that for that reason, like if they want to keep that money for themselves, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but uh, it's just, yeah. See, this is the questions that we need answered, because it's just getting ridiculous at this point, at this NIL level type of stuff we have now.
All of a
Yes,
sudden,
AD
the
Fields,
schools
answer
don't
Jonah's
want their.
emails, please.
Say that
Say it
again,
again.
Isaiah.
I said, AD Fields, answer Jonah's emails, please. Let's get some answers.
Yes, sir. Please.
What's funny about what you just said, Jonah, is what you're telling me is that the schools don't want the athletes using their name, image, or likeness. Hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was
Hmm.
getting at. Yeah, so it's confusing. It's like it's they want them to get money, but they don't want them to get more money than them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it's political, obviously. So let's move
Yes.
on. Let's get into some high school basketball. So, in the description, welcome to high school sports. We are going to get started with 5A boys. Obviously, we may mention a little bit of Mesilla, but it is now time for district play. This is it. Isaiah, this is why you're here, baby. Basketball is heating up. It is time to rock and roll. Las Cruces Bulldogs are, as of now, Max Preps has not updated the rankings. So right now, as of Sunday night, Las Cruces Bulldogs are still at 3, Centennial at 12, Oregon Mountain at 13, and Mayfield at 16. This is definitely going to change. There's been some games that have been played where it's just going to shift. So for the boys, outside non-district play is over with. It is time for the city to essentially catch fire here. Everyone's going to be playing one another. I we were already seeing social media getting crazy. You got Cruces, they're posting all kinds of crazy stuff, and now we can kind of say whatever we want because there's some crazy stuff happening out there. So, Jonah, let us get started here, and then Isaiah, give us some color. Basketball 3-5A district. Let's get it.
Yeah, so I'm still sticking with my favorites, Cruces to win the district, but it's gonna be weird. I don't know how many the last time or if there's like a rule. I don't think there is, but like we could get 4 or 5 District 3 5A teams into the state playoffs, and that's adding Alamogordo into it. Centennial probably has the toughest opener in district because they play Alamogordo. I don't know if it's here or there, but Alamogordo's ranked right above them in 11th right now. But after the win against Carlsbad, Centennial could move up to 10 or 9. I wouldn't be surprised if they're 9 tomorrow morning when the new rankings come out. But Cruces smooth sailing, played Hobbs, destroyed them. Hobbs was without their big guy Malachi David, who's a junior. But that's not an excuse. Um, I think Cruces just has that full court press that Isaiah knows so well. They just give teams fits every time they run it. And Carlsbad gave Cruces kind of a taste of their own medicine with their own full court press, but the game was so widespread at that time that Cruces was just like not really flinching at that. But I'm really excited to see Centennial in district if they can maybe grab a win against Cruces or whatnot. I feel like they can secure a very favorable seed heading into state, and I just want to say that they're a for real state playoff team right now. The team that I'm worried about the most is Mayfield because they dropped a couple games that were just ugly losses against Carlsbad, Roswell, and Da Vinci, who Cruces destroyed. And then Oregon Mountain, I think will stay around that 12-13 seed, and I think they could play upsetter because they have some good shooters that can catch fire.
Yeah, the Mayfield squad has really surprised me twice now because they started off really hot, and then some buzz around the internet is that they had an easier schedule and they started playing some higher competition and started to struggle. But personally, the times that I have seen Mayfield play, I watched them play Hobbs, and I think they played extremely well. I thought they had Corey Patterson, who is really quick. He's crafty when it comes to, getting his layups off, but also has a great shot. Homer Walsh as well, just super tall. What we talked about comparing him to Larry Bird, right?
Yeah,
And I think he's a kid who's just has that reach that he can get into a really good rhythm and start shooting threes where he got no shot in blocking him, right? And then Fernie Corona as well, doing really well. He's celebrating, or finally has a peace of mind that he did just get signed to a school. I don't remember the school, but
oh
I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
seeing that.
yeah.
So
New Mexico Highlands, I believe.
is it Highlands? Okay, so he already knows he's playing at the next level. He's now um, working at making a state appearance and leaving his mark at Mayfield. So I'm really excited about them. I hope that they can continue to play well, just because it seems like they're going to be the bottom feeders when it comes to everyone else in as far as state rankings. So um, Cruces played extremely well. I think the score didn't compare to how they played against Carlsbad. It was a solid lead. So um, and Centennial has surprised me and just continuing to play really well there. Let me pull up here. Isaiah, any thoughts? I know you're barely getting into the high school ball. Any impressions that you have as we start looking into some of these games?
Well, man, let me tell you this. First day back, first day on the job. I'm not going to name drop like you two, but I'll get to that point eventually. But let me tell you this. I bumped into Coach William Benjamin the other day, and I expressed my deep, heartfelt impression. I was very impressed by his team. I mean, we all see the hype videos. We all see the amazing videos that their videographer does on Instagram. Shout out to him, by the way, and keep doing your
Shout out
thing.
Matt. Yes, sir.
Yes, shout out Matt. Keep doing your thing. You're hyping me up for the Bulldogs, and I haven't even seen you guys play the whole year yet, but I'm going to. But let me tell you this. I'm very, very impressed with everything that I'm reading right now currently on Las Cruces High School. On paper, they look like they can make a deep run in state or even win this thing again and get Coach Benjamin another state championship. I mean, they're very dominant, it looks like, consistently. And I mean, this next game coming up against Mayfield, like you guys said, anybody can get the work. It's district. Anybody can get knocked off. Anybody can get slapped in the face any day, anytime. And that's the big thing. Mayfield looks like they're going to put up a good fight this Tuesday. And it's going to be interesting. I can name drop one person because I know this kid individually, Corona. He actually is amazing. He's fantastic. He's a fantastic player. And Coach Ben last year, I know, struggled a little bit finding some answers for him. But again, it's a different team. It's a different year. I'm excited to see that game. That'll be the first high school game I see this year. So I'm excited to find out who these players are, name drop them next episode.
That is the game that's happening on Tuesday. That's going to be big right there. Mayfield against Las Cruces High School Bulldogs. This is going to be at the Dog Pound. This one's going to be the start of district play for both the Trojans and the Bulldogs.
And come on, man. I gotta say this too, man. Everybody's back from winter break, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, boys. All the students from high school, they're back. They're in
Mm-hmm.
school, right? This is a Mayfield Cruces basketball game. I haven't seen a gym packed since maybe 2016, and I wasn't even in high. Actually, yeah, I was in high school back then, but I haven't seen a gym packed up like that for Mayfield Cruces since then. So we need to make sure that these students show out because both of these teams are fantastic. Both of these teams are going to make a deep run in district and in state. We need to pack that gym for sure. I want to
Yeah,
I want to see. Go ahead.
roll out those upper bleachers for these games. Let
Yes.
those let's get a little crazy and let the kids chant. Come on now, like I mean, don't be cussing stuff, but let them have a couple of some vibey chants because that makes the game much more funner for these kids who are playing, but also for the fans. Like it just gets things going.
Nah, man. I'm gonna have to take you out on that one, Jonah. Let them cuss, man. They're high schoolers, man. These guys are grown
Hell.
kids.
Go,
They're
they're
grown
grown
kids,
kids.
man. Yeah, they're grown kids, man. Let them take care of themselves. I was extremely frustrated last season. I think me and Frankie
Oh,
were at the game at Cruces High School when you had the superintendent, brand new. I hate to say this. I hate to say this. You're not from Las Cruces, my man. You should not be dictating what the students say, and you need to allow these students to celebrate because if you take that away from them, they ain't going to show up to the games. Then the athletics is gonna disappear, man. We need to allow these kids to say what they need to say to chant everybody. Why do you think in 2014 we had our stadiums, we had our football games at the Aggie Memorial Stadium? Because we let our kids chant. Yeah, it got a little out of hand back in the day, but I mean, hell, it was a rivalry. We need to treat it as such. We need to get back to that AP's top poll of best high school rivalries in the country. God dang it, man. And I hate to say it, but Frankie, I'm so sorry. It's my first day on the job. I have to say, I have to drop a hot take, man.
I'm sweating. I'm like,
I know, man. I
first.
see you. That superintendent is not from Las Cruces. Let the kids chant. Sorry, there we go. That's my hot take for the day, boys. I knew it was
All right.
coming. It was boiling into me.
We didn't even
That's
need
what we
Steven
loved
back
and
for the crazy
missed.
takes. Yeah, yeah. Uh, I think there's a happy medium between what Jonah said and what you just said, Isaiah, where, um, there's rules to what you can or can't say, but I think there's a
Yeah.
safe and um, fun way where you can do chants. You could chant for your team. They always say it. Don't root against the team that you're playing against, but you can root for your team, right? And so you can still
Mhm.
get loud and you can still get excited about your team. And I think that's good enough, if it gets crazier than that, no pasa nada. I didn't see nothing, but
Yeah. Yeah. Don't
I
drop
think
your
I think
mamas, guys.
it's part of the game. It's part of what makes things exciting. Um, I've talked about this with Isaiah, or I'm sorry, with Jonah, when it comes to wrestling. I know we're jumping off topic here, but I feel the same way about wrestling, and that is a combat sport. That is your best athlete, your best fighter from your school fighting my school head to head in the middle of the gym. I think that is really fun because they're actually fighting. I mean, it's wrestling, so not throwing strikes, but I have the same sentiment about wrestling. So, yeah, I think the more fun you can have with your classmates balling out, the better. The more the merrier, bro. So, somewhere in between what Jonas said and what Isaiah says is where I stand. Let's make the rules clear. Let's make the boundaries, and then let them go have fun. Is my point there. So,
Yes, sir.
Jonah, Centennial. They're starting off with Alamogordo. Gadsden. Are we covering Gadsden too much? I know they showed us some love during football. They are. I think we watched one game with Gadsden, and they're just never up there. But Panthers. Good luck. Rooting for y'all.
Yeah, they struggle a bit, and like the new classifications, they're gonna go down to 4A next year for basketball. So I guess just survive the district season. Like it's the best I can say for them.
Yeah, it's
I
moving
did not know
around.
that.
Yeah.
That's awesome news, Jonah. They're going down to 4A. I believe, I had some time down in that division, but that sounds fantastic. I'm excited for Gadsden because that means they actually are going to be they're going to able to be competitive. I'm excited for that.
I do have a question though. Um, both girls and boys. This is for Isaiah. Competed in the Metro tournament. I hear that's been going on for quite a while. It's like the little 16 teams like wannabe state tournament for that area, and I think they open it to all teams in the state. Like they can invite. I know Hobbs went. Hobbs girls won the girls side. But why don't we have a tournament like that here in Cruces? Like instead of these small hoopla tournaments, or have they had those tournaments here in Cruces in the past?
That's been a conversation between a lot of coaches before in the past of having a large tournament over here. But the closest school, I mean, to get some real competition, the Albuquerque schools won't come down here to play. So the
Hmm.
next big thing that we have to reach out to is El Paso. So we reach out to those El Paso schools. And I mean, ultimately, it's just a competition level that I think back in the day we couldn't really compete with. But now I believe, New Mexico athletes have progressed. And I think we should, look into something like that, like a tournament that we continue going in an annual basis, because one thing about the metro tournament, like you said, like you mentioned, it's been going on for years. I mean, even before we were probably all in high school. And that's the big thing, is consistency. As long as they keep the
Mm,
consistency of that tournament, I think it'll be a big thing. And you're absolutely right, they grab every school over there. It doesn't matter what division you are, 6A, 4A,
yeah,
2A,
that's
it doesn't
cool.
matter. I remember Hope Christian. Oh my goodness, the most dangerous 4A team ever. They won like how many state championships in a row? Those guys would give the 6A teams a run for their money and actually sometimes whoop them. I mean, I think that would be a good thing to have, and see what Hope Christian can do to our 6A teams down here too as well.
Definitely.
I mean, I think what Coach I'm spacing out. We just talked to him today from Centennial, Coach Abney.
Cario? Oh, Abney, my
Abney.
bad.
He with the hoopla tournament, you just said consistency, and I mean, I think the hoopla you didn't. I don't know if we talked about this or you heard Isaiah. There was a
Mhm.
team from Arizona that came down and played the hoopla tournament.
Oh
And
wow.
so that's consistency. You have
Yep.
advertising. You see what Coach Abney is able to do with the big time hoops showcase, right? And that's massive. So with that, you're also getting that the vision of what the hoopla tournament can become, where you do have not only boys and girls, you're getting 24, 30 teams on, all together, where you're having 15 teams for the boys, 15 teams for the girls, and it's slowly growing. I was never around basketball to know, how the hoopla was doing as far as teams.
Mhm.
But I think I got the little program here. Coach is doing his best he can to
Oh
make this
wow.
as appealing as possible. I mean, this is
I love
19th
that.
anniversary,
There we go.
So if we want to talk about is there a tournament in Cruces, I think this is the closest thing we got to a big tournament where,
Yeah.
you know, we can us talking about it is what's going to make these bigger, right? So
And I love the
yeah.
fact that the hoopla is consistent, correct? You're absolutely right on that. But I remember when I was playing, the hoopla was only girls. It was a girls only tournament
Yeah.
for. Yeah, I remember that. So the fact that they added the boys into it, I mean, it's going to take a little bit longer for it to grow a little bit on the boys' side too as well. But you're absolutely right. The consistency on that tournament was huge. My little sister Genesis, that was the tournament to play in every single year.
Mhm.
I mean, that was the tournament that she actually enjoyed playing in because it was very competitive. I think it's just a matter, like you said, of consistency to make that thing competitive for the boys' side too as well in the future. But I did not know about an Arizona team. How did they perform? Do you know?
I can. I'm using my phone to record, so I
Oh,
took a
there we go.
picture of
Okay.
the bracket. But the school was South Mountain, Arizona.
Nice.
Is
Nice. See,
Uh,
I love that. I love that for us down here because the exposure to other talent in surrounding states is a huge thing. I think that's awesome.
mhm.
yeah, I don't think they did too well. But we did have a lot of good. I think we had like Valencia in that tournament on both girls and boys side, who's a good 4A team. Cleveland was here, Las Lunas for girls. Um, but yeah, I think a couple years ago, when Isaiah's right, I think they barely introduced the boys side. I think there was maybe like a 4 team tournament, like they just kind of round robined it, and it might have even grown from a round robin type of style. So yeah, it's growing. This year they had 8 teams, which is still pretty cool. Cleveland came. Um, I was expecting them to win that tournament, but ever since then, I think since they lost to Cruces that game for the championship, no, for the semifinals, they've turned it around. They could be the number one team come tomorrow. So I mean, we had a potential number one state champion, future state champion team, and coming to the hoopla. So yeah, it's growing for sure.
Yeah, and the big thing back then when I was playing, man, was Cruces can put on a hell of a summer tournament. The summer tournaments were amazing here for basketball, and just the actual summer leagues that Coach Ben used to put on too as well. I don't know if he's still doing that, but just the summer leagues and the summer tournaments were fantastic. And I think if we turn that into an in season, you guys are absolutely right. We can turn something into something small into something really big and grow it with the consistency.
And to be clear, for the boys, it was South Mountain, Arizona. For the girls, it was a team from Nogales that came into town. So two Arizona teams, and then had a team from El Paso as well. So technically, three states attended, um, three different states being represented at the Hoopla this year. So, um, and at the same time, there was basketball going on. Hobbs was in town playing Mayfield, and then they played
Oh yeah, that
Oregon
was weird.
Mountain,
Yeah.
right? Where why are they playing individual games? Let's put them in the tournament too. If Hobbs is going to come over here, there's 8 different teams in town. Let's do that
Mhm.
instead, So some hard headedness, some communication, some scheduling. all these things start to work out, and all of a sudden you're getting bigger tournaments, and then schools will say, "Oh wait, Cruces and Hobbs is there. Yeah, let's go to that instead." So um, slow and steady. But while we're on the topic, I think it's time here to wrap up with our basketball with our girls. This is week one. Like I mentioned, there is one more non-district game left to play. There was some snow in Silver City, so Centennial wasn't able to go out there. So there's a makeup game on Monday. After that, the table is set for district play. Uh, but again, rankings have not been updated. So for now, it's the same thing. Cruces, Mayfield, Centennial, 8, 9, 10. And yeah, I don't know what's going to happen here. This is super tight as far as how seating is done. Jonah, who do you think is going to pull away here? Uh, Someone's going to have to move, obviously. You're not going to have the entire district bunched up like this come playoffs. So who do you think, or who do you got pulling away?
I would like to say Centennial has it in them to pull away and win the district for regular season. They just seem most, and it's no knock on the other coaches, but well coached. Um, they execute really well, but Coach Maya, of course, at Mayfield has his team playing really good. They just lost to Silver, um, but they beat Las Lunas, who was a top five team before that win. They're still a really good team. They just won a tournament up north as well this past weekend. And then Cruces hung in there with Hobbs, who's going to be the number one team. They just destroyed Farmington, who's the former number one team, by like 20 or so points. And we only lost to them by 6. It seemed like an off night for the girls. I was kind of going in back and forth with the boys game and the girls game. But they hung in there, and if they make a couple of layups at the end that were kind of quick, they were quick transition points, but they missed them. They could have won that game, and that would have been Sobeys, I guess, win right there. Um, but so it's just so competitive. Those three schools anyone can win. But I did want to give a shout out to Sienna McInnes, who got her 1,000th point uh, career history in her career. Oh wait, there's a car driving out there.
I apologize, man. I didn't know that.
Oh,
I'm over here at the Indy 500. My bad, boys.
I was like, is that me?
Next time that happens, I'll tap my mic. I'll mute us.
I thought
No,
that
you're
was my
good.
stomach.
You're good. You're good. No. Yeah, but shout out to Sienna McInnes. She got past 1,000 point mark thing, and she's a baller, dude. She's a top player in New Mexico. Averages around 25 points a game. Um, and even on Cruce's side, not necessarily basketball, but one of the basketball players, Kira Gamboa, signed for soccer at Eastern just today. So we got some girls on the girls side going places too. So that's really exciting. So shout out to y'all for moving up the next level.
Frankie, if you don't mind, man, can you pull up the rankings or the standings so I can see?
Yeah, you want the standings for the girls
Basketball, if you
girls
don't mind.
basketball? Yeah. Um,
Yeah, I know a couple of the ladies that are playing currently right now because they played with my little sister Gabby too as well. I know Kennedy Maestas. She is a
Oh
baller
yeah,
over there at Centennial, from
mhm.
what I'm hearing. So shout out
yeah.
to James Maestas and Coach BJ. I mean, she seems like she's an amazing product of Centennial High School. And I've seen some highlights too as well. So I've actually been curious about what's going on the girls' side. And oh wow, nice.
Oh, let me remove the branding here. So yeah, Farmington, as you had mentioned earlier, Jonah, was number one. That's gonna change some musical chairs here, but yeah, that's what it looks like for the top 11 there. Um,
Wow.
and for your information, Isaiah, we've mentioned it a couple times, but the biggest thing that Coach Abney has been mentioning for Centennial Girls is the strength of schedule. They had a really tough start to the season, so 7-6, but they had some tough games there. So battle tested. He's been broadcasting that a lot on their social media that these girls are
Mhm.
ready to throw some chingazos. They're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
So
And that I
it'll be
think
fun.
honestly, man, you're absolutely right, Frankie. The schedule strength in the regular season preps you for what's going to happen in district and in state. So I feel like if these girls can go on a run in district, knock everybody out, they have a really good chance at making a deep run into state too as well. This looks like a very competitive ranking that we're looking at right here, and this is me not even watching a game or knowing about anything, and I'm excited to see that. And you're absolutely right, Frankie. If anybody can get the work, man, in district, it's a difference. District is a difference monster.
Yes, sir. No, it's going to be fun. Every week we're going to have two or three different matchups that are going to be highlighted. Maybe that's what we start doing. One of us all choose a matchup of the week because whether it's Cruces Mayfield, Centennial Cruces, Mayfield Oregon Mountain, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun to to see how these teams kind of all line up because I mean, the girls are stacked up 8, 9, 10, but also the boys are right there where, hey, tomorrow Mayfield might be Cruces. What are we, or Thursday or Tuesday, Mayfield might be Cruces, and we're all sitting here confused about the ranking, right? I mean, anything can happen. And so who knows? It's going to be fun. Anything else for basketball? Any questions? Anything you're dying to know, Isaiah? Because if you don't know it, chances are our listeners aren't aware of it either.
No, man. I'm just excited to get back into it and let those kids cheer, man. That's all I gotta say. Let's move on.
Sweet. Well, you're just stirring the pot. First
You go
day
lead that.
one.
You go lead that student section on
Yes, sir.
Tuesday.
Hey, man, I might just have to. I might just have to.
Part the Red Sea. Do a cool couple little things.
Even if it's
Mayfield's the only school I didn't go to, so I'm gonna have to cheer on Cruces.
I forgot about
uh
that.
maybe we can do like little half sheeter or just do like a graphic of here are the rules. I've seen UTEP do that where they have like a cheering guideline of here are the certain chants, the do's and
Mhm.
don'ts, things you can't say. They've like printed that out and put it on every chair of the student section at UTEP as like a here's how we're cheering this game, which is I think a great idea because I'm sorry, Cruces, at NMSU, our cheerleaders are not doing the job they're supposed to be doing. There's like it's like silence at the game, so maybe we
Oh,
need to
you're gonna
implement
you're
that.
gonna piss Isaiah's wife off.
Yeah, you are. You are.
Oh,
And
well, maybe
I
she
agree
should go
with you.
cheer because they are very quiet. I'm sure she'd do
I
a better
agree with
job.
you. I agree with you, Frankie. Setting some guidelines for the students onto what they can and can't do. Like, I get the cussing, I get all that stuff. They can't cuss and everything, but you can cheer on your team without cussing. And yeah, there's some. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Push
Okay,
it,
yeah, yeah.
push it,
Oh
Oh,
shit,
I
push
thought you
it.
were like saying like,
oh
what are we
shit.
saying?
No.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. But no, man. What I didn't, what I didn't like last year, man, and this is burned into my brain, is we were at Mayfield. I think it was all three of us, man, and they would stop the game mid game.
Oh
And the PA
yeah.
announcer, you remember that? The PA announcer would get on and tell the students that they could be ejected if they don't stop chanting something. And it wasn't even vulgar. I don't even remember if it was vulgar, Jonah, but again, it's just the football players getting at the players that are on the court, and that's what happens. Everybody's loud, everybody's rowdy, and it preps these students for the next level, to be honest, because I mean, it's the next level is not going to stop that type of stuff. So, but
Yeah, and
anyways, yeah.
I've heard Cleveland, Hobbs, El Dorado, like their student sections are pretty hectic as well. So we want to make it a fun place for other teams to come here. So let's just let them go. Like if they're going to be ejected, let them get
Yeah.
ejected. That'll
Hobbs
that'll
Hobbs was always the loudest place, man, and you always heard some out of pocket stuff. I mean, shout out to my boy Marcus Collins, man. Shout out to my boy Marcus Collins. He got called Q-tip for a couple of times, and it was a name that stuck with him for a while. I mean,
oh
that's just what happens. That's sports, that's athletics, that's part of it. And these kids need to enjoy themselves. The fans need to enjoy themselves, and so do the athletes, man. So I think we need to free the students. Hashtag free the students. Let them cheer.
It's a perfect way to end the show
Amen.
right there.
Unfortunately, I actually have a couple things to cover with wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So
I
yeah.
apologize.
Yeah. Catch
There's
yourself,
there
Jonah.
was at Atrisco, the Bulldogs and the Knights, Oregon Mountain Knights, did a road trip up to Atrisco for a tournament this weekend. They're still getting updates on that. The brackets weren't fully fulfilled yet, but something that concerned me was that I didn't see Colby Gonzalez in the lineup for Cruces at Atrisco. But don't be worried, he was at the Tulsa Nationals, which is a massive tournament. It's one of the um, biggest wrestling tournaments that isn't necessarily for high schools. Their brackets are actually starting at 8 years old all the way to 15. So we're talking about this Colby kid who is an absolute beast. He's won world titles in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all this stuff. Um, he's still fighting at 5 under. That's his it's his age class, his bracket or whatever. So um, he's been a dog the entire season. He's won state already, and he unfortunately finished third at the Tulsa National this weekend. He fell to Howard Hill, and it was a tough battle. It was in the semifinals that he lost. But also a big shout out, Jonah, to a good friend of yours and a good friend of the show, Malik. You said it was his cousin, Heaven Woods. She
Yes.
is a national champion in wrestling. She won the 10U girls bracket for 110. She is the national champion at wrestling. So, congratulations to her. That is absolutely awesome.
Can
Let's
you do the
go,
little hand
Heaven.
clap? Can you do the little hand clap sound, Frankie, you did in the beginning? Can you get a hand clap? There we go. Here we go.
We could
Oh man.
do.
I
So,
got
shout out
some of
to them.
those coming up next episode. Some of those jokes coming up next episode.
So, with that being said, duels are getting started. I mentioned it a little bit about duels, how awesome duels are. Um, Talked about it a little bit, but let me explain to you exactly what duels are. It is a head-to-head matchup. It's your school against another school. So here in a couple of weeks, Cruces High School is going to be dueling Centennial, and it's going to be their best 130 against their your best 130. Middle of the gym, they're going to be wrestling. There's no other matches happening. One on one, they do it one at a time, and you essentially just line up your lineup of wrestlers and their lineup of wrestlers, and you 1v1 them. And it's about a 3 hour event that happens on a usually Wednesday afternoons or evenings. And I think that is like the perfect like thing for you to go see as a student. Uh, your classmates are battling it out. You're able to cheer. I went to the Anthony duel with, it was Gadsden and Centennial, and then Mayfield Centennial. I think that's how it worked. Yeah, and the parents were there. They're cheering, and like these kids are getting hyped. They're getting a pin, and they're just like, "What's up?" They look to the crowd, and they're just. I wish I would have gone to more of those just to see my classmates just get after it, you know? So, Isaiah, you're in the fighting mood. Maybe we got to go watch some wrestling and get hyped up with those kids because they're letting them fight. They're letting them fight in the
Oh yeah.
gym, just not for basketball games.
I guess not. I guess not. Let's see if the AD shows. Let's implore the superintendent to show up to the wrestling. See if he likes that atmosphere.
Gosh
That's
darn it.
funny.
Cool.
Gosh darn it. he said.
I'm like literally, you can see my sweat stains on my hat. I'm like, gosh, okay, no, it's cool. Especially with how social media is popping off right now. I mean, we got a 5 minute video of Coach Ben talking about bad fouls in the gym. That's crazy. But so we can do whatever. We can talk loosely, I think. Um, Anything else, boys, as we wrap up? Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you are noticing and paying attention to surf and turf golf, baby. Um, we'll said it at the beginning, say it at the end. Appreciate y'all. Any last words, Isaiah, Jonah?
Let them kids cheer, man. That's it.
Give us your wise, nice people thing. at the end of this show. We've been missing that lately. Give us some
Oh,
positive
you know
news.
what, man?
Oh, he's gonna have to remember it.
I muted
You
myself
muted
for a little
yourself.
bit, boys. It's a new mic. New mic. Got to get used to it. Say something nice to somebody. You never know what they're going through. It could make their day. A Mountain Echo. We're out, boys.
Amen.